After the conclusion of Murder Drones back in August of 2024 with the finale being released, many Murder Drones fans were very curious on what would happen next, whether Murder Drones would get a season 2 or a spin-off show or any more episodes or anything of the sort. Now I've already made videos on why I don't really think there are going to be any future Murder Drones seasons or spin-off shows. At least we wouldn't get any future content anytime soon, as I don't think Glitch Productions would like to handle 4 shows at the same time. Rather, this video will look into the creator and writer of Murder Drones, Liam Vickers, and where he could go next, as he is still a writer, still probably has plans as to his stories cooking. Now one of the things that Liam Vickers could return to, or at least continue, is Cliffside, starting off as an animated pilot that was around 10 minutes long, released on the Liam Vickers animation channel. This mini episode follows our main protagonist, whose name I have already forgotten, along with 2 of their friends, one of them being human and another one being some sort of spider-like creature, surviving in a very monster-infested Wild West-like setting. If you haven't watched the pilot already, I would definitely recommend watching it, as it is a great show of Liam Vickers' past writing and maybe something he might continue later down the road. Now Liam Vickers did state how the Cliffside pilot was mostly just a show, or at least a test for himself to see if he could even do it. As to my understanding, he was at least either the lead animator or the only animator who actually animated the entire thing. Now obviously if he were to continue this series, we would probably have more animators to help him out, but the reason why I think this is most likely the thing that he's going to continue later down the road is because, one, he has released some concept or at least art that he's drawn of the characters within the show, but also because he's put a lot of love and thought into the lore or at least world building of this series, drawing concept art for different monsters within the world, and also having the pilot somewhat set up a future series, although not exactly like a true pilot. There is a few hints, or at least just a little bit of world building so that he could base an entire series off of it, although the second episode would probably have to do a lot more than the pilot did. So that is one route that Liam Vickers could take. The other one could be continuing his storyboard series, Internetian Cube. Internetian Cube, like I mentioned, is animated in a somewhat storyboard-like fashion, mostly being meant for storyboard practice for Liam Vickers. It did, however, develop a following, as the interest in the story was pretty high. There are only 3 parts out right now. How many there were going to be in the first place still remains to be seen, and nobody really knows. And I would definitely give it a watch, as it does retain some similarities to Murder Drones in some ways, but not really that much. Still quirky humor and generally pretty interesting fight scenes, although there aren't that many, as there's only 3 parts, most of which just being a couple minutes, at the very most being like 10 minutes long, but definitely worth a shot since he could continue this in the future, although it's less likely than Cliffside. I say less likely than Cliffside, as like I said before, these were mostly meant for Liam Vickers to practice his storyboarding, and unlike Cliffside, there hasn't been any new drawings of the characters or any music released or anything of the sort, unlike Cliffside, which did get like 1 character from the pilot drawn and then released on Twitter, which although it isn't a lot, it's a lot more than Internetian Cube, which has basically just gotten no updates for the past like 5 years. Still, it is a possibility to consider, and at least something to look forward to, as after all, part 4 of Internetian Cube is highly anticipated, at least by those who actually care about Internetian Cube in the first place, or at least know about it, but also Liam Vickers isn't exactly known for completing every single series he's a part of, and if you think I'm wrong, just check the entirety of the Storytime channel. Now there is a third option that Liam Vickers could do, although I find it extremely unlikely, but I feel obligated to tell you, because if I don't and then it does end up happening, then I'm gonna feel like a big jerk. Now I don't exactly know what the series is called. It's not even a series, it's just a combination of a bunch of audio-less storyboards, one small animatic that is pretty short and not exactly a pilot or even an episode or even a mini episode in any way. It follows 2 Wendigos being disguised as humans. Do not ask me what Wendigos are. I do not want to explain their entirety of the lore because I will mess it up. They're disguised as humans trying to survive by, take a guess at it, eating humans. I know, shocker. To my knowledge, Liam Vickers never really took this anywhere except for a couple storyboards and animatic, nor do I think he even planned on taking it anywhere, nor do I think he's actually going to ever take it anywhere, but I thought it was worth mentioning, as why not? Now there are plenty of miscellaneous audioless storyboard little animatics that he's made, most of which are unlisted but still found on his website. There is also some sort of plan way before even Murder Drones was even an idea, which the only evidence I at least have of is this one screenshot I have up here. As you can see, the 2 characters within this kind of look like Uzi and N, which means that this show was mostly very similar to Murder Drones when just adapted to be, YouTube friendly and being able to be monetized, as I don't think a whole bunch of blood and gore, which is basically Liam Vickers' style at this point, would be very accepted on YouTube. Perhaps this, or at least some sort of twisted version of this story, which we basically know nothing about, at least I know nothing about, perhaps could be something that Liam Vickers does in the future, although I'm pretty sure the majority of the show is just put in the murder drones. And then there's also the possibility that Liam Vickers just creates something new, a new show, a new idea, a new world, new characters, new basically everything, except for keeping that crazy girl archetype and yandere stuff, because he always does that. So to summarize, we have a couple options in which Liam Vickers could go, including Cliffside, an animated pilot that's pretty short but also shows a lot of promise as he's made a lot of the world, concept for new monsters and characters, and has released some art of the characters within the pilot semi-recently, and by semi-recently I mean like 6 months ago. There's also Internetian Cube, although seemingly abandoned and mostly just meant in the past for storyboard practice for Liam Vickers. Part 4 is somewhat highly anticipated by those who actually know of the series and care about it, so it is something that he could go back to or at least turn into a fully animated TV show. There's also that Wendigo story, which again highly doubt even more than Internetian Cube that it would actually happen and turn into a full series, but then again, who knows. And then there's also the possibility that he creates something new, something completely unique that we haven't seen before, but still keeping his favorite archetypes like the shy male protagonist and the basically insane angsty teenage girl. I didn't mention this, but there is the entirety of his Storytime channel. Although he's absolutely abandoned it, it is a dead channel, it says so in the description of the channel. Perhaps he'll make like a remix or he'll remake one of the stories within it. I know that Design, one of the series that he made, which ran for basically 3 seasons, although season 3 isn't complete, was pretty popular, and I think if he were to remake it, maybe with a lot less blood and gore so it could be made into an animated series and not an audiobook, it could probably catch on again, especially since Glitch Productions has boosted his name a lot, basically handing him a care package full of millions and millions of people who would watch his content and future stories, so he could basically do whatever he wants. So he could return to one of those stories. Now I'm going to say this for the 8 people in all of my videos that talk about how they want a Murder Drone Season 2, we are not getting a Murder Drone Season 2. I don't care what leaks there are, what that leak about Amazon Prime Video getting Murder Drones supposedly or whatever, and then it saying Season 1, then people saying that, oh my gosh, we're getting a Season 2 or whatever, oh my god. Just stop coping and cope differently by waiting for Liam Vickers to release something new and then supporting that. That would be amazing. But that's everything I've got to say. I'm done trying to drag on this video to 8 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to help my channel out. That would be amazing. Check out my other videos that haven't been doing too well, because that would also be cool. Stay tuned for next week, because I'll definitely be posting.